You not remember the one we did last year where you stole my high noon?
I wish you would stop talking immediately.
I really wish you would stop talking.
How's your hair? Looks nice.
Thank you. I got my hair done yesterday.
Oh, good for you. Good for you. How'd that go?
It went nicely. I always go back to Boston for it.
What do you look like right now? Because with your hair done like that, I've only met her like twice, but you look like your sister.
Well, that would make sense because we do.
I know, but because usually you have straight hair, and when I've seen her, she's had wavy hair. You look just like her.
Well, here's the thing, and guys wouldn't understand this. The reason I look more like my sister than I normally do right now is because I have a middle part, which she usually has. I curl my hair, but normally I have a side part.
Yeah, I've never thought y'all looked that much alike until like right now. I can see it.
Well, and if we don't have makeup on, we look identical. When we put makeup on, we look different. It's a weird phenomenon. I don't know what it is.
Is she still dating Frank the Tank?
She's dating Marty Mush. You know that.
Oh, I knew it was one of them. Okay.
Remember when she yelled at you on our Christmas episode?
I do. I very much do. Yeah. All right. Before we get started, I just want to do this is not that big of a deal. Just a quick roll call. For everyone whose college football team is still undefeated, say here. Katie?
Here.
Kayce?
Here.
I'm here. Jack?
I can't say here.
Okay. All right. It's fine.
That's when you say absent, Jack. You say absent.
We'll get to it.
We'll get to it.
Yeah.
By the way,
Katie, tell your joke.
Katie has a joke?
Yeah.
No, I said earlier that we should limit Jack to talking about UConns for the amount of times his team scored on the weekend.
Not a bad idea.
That's a good joke.
Works better though if you say the amount of points they score because they didn't score any.
I'm sorry, I'm not as wordly as
That's what she
are.
meant.
You can.
I don't think.
Oh yeah.
Y'all know what I mean.
Just whatever. All right. Besides, next week, yeah, we'll probably all still be undefeated. Well, Katie might not be.
Yeah, let's just not talk about
Katie
it.
might not be.
By the way, speaking of Mac Brown, I wished him a happy 70th birthday. And now I feel badly about going against UNC, Katie. So I feel bad because he sent back these like really, really nice text messages being like, I hope you're doing well with all these blue hearts. And I was like, shit, I can't bet against him now.
Are you betting Virginia
No,
Tech?
I'm saying when I said I think Miami's going to beat UNC. No, I'm not betting on it. No, but I'm just saying I feel horribly now because, such a sweet man, Mac Brown. The picture of him with the cake, I started crying.
You should feel horribly.
70-year-old man texting. That's just weird. All right. Y'all ready to do a show?
Yeah.
Jack, you in a mood tonight?
Jack does look like he's in a fucking mood.
You do look like you're in a mood.
No, I'm not in a mood.
Okay. All right.
Everybody pose.
There's the national television.
Everybody pose.
Oh God, it looks shiny.
What?
That was very funny.
I was framing the cowbells.
I liked it. It'll be a nice little Instagram photo.
Yeah. All right, let's go. Hi, welcome to Unnecessary Roughness, Barstool's college football podcast, brought to you by High Noon Hard Seltzer. Me and your girl, Kayce Smith, going to be shooting a High Noon commercial this week, aren't we, Kayce?
Yes, we are. We had our college football one last year that was such a hit. They have to run it back with us. That'll be very nice and very fun. We love High Noon. We know that. I don't know. We know what the spin zone is on this one. I'm not going to ruin it for the people, but it's a callback in what they would call a comedy world. It's definitely a callback.
Yeah, I think they just wanted two really good-looking people, and they settled on me and you. Probably picked me first, and then
definitely
eventually got to you. But yeah, it's we'll do it. High Noon Hard Seltzer. They got the.
Hold on, did you lay in a bikini for 3 hours for High Noon last commercial?
I think you and I both know that I would if they asked for that.
Well, they asked me, so I feel like maybe what you just said is not true.
Well, let's not go any further because they might ask me. So
you did pose naked for a calendar. So
I did, and laid on that floor for an hour for
the people that don't know, Brandon is in a nude calendar.
I laid on the floor covered in rose petals. I don't think this is a bad thing to say because I love the guy. I laid on the floor covered in rose petals naked while the gayest man I know was 2 feet away from me with a camera, just taking pictures of it.
Oh yeah, no, he would also say that he's the gayest man that you know.
Correct. I love
he knows
Enrique
that.
so much.
Enrique is the best, by the way. His birthday was last weekend. Happy birthday. I mean, he is such a king. I love him so much. But yes, I mean, you were on full display.
Yes, I was.
But wouldn't it be, it's better to have Enrique there because he'll tell you the truth. Like if it was like a guy that wouldn't tell you the truth, you look ugly. Like you could have turned out really ugly.
Oh, no, actually, I prefer people that don't tell me the truth about what I look like. So.
Well, but you looked great in the calendar.
Didn't I? All right. So that's high noon. I don't know how that qualifies as high noon ad, but sure, let's go with it. By the way, Jack, do we tell advertising that we're 2 a week now, or do we have ads this time? Okay, good.
Yeah, the first email we got, I saw how many ads we had, and I was like, what? And then we split them. So
yeah. Just real quick, won't spend any time on it. Just stay tuned later this week for a Brandon Walker related college football announcement. And other than that, stay tuned on Saturday for the college football show. The Barstool College Football Show returns for the first time this year. I believe since we're not on the road, it'll be at 10 a.m., right? Yes.
So week 1 is in studio.
Yeah.
Spoiler, week 2 is on the road. We have not announced where we're going yet. We will in the show, like at the end of the show on –
Don't tell the people about Columbus. Don't tell them. Don't tell them.
I'm not telling them.
Okay, all right.
We're going to announce where we're going at the end of the college football show on Saturday. So we're running the crew back.
I don't even know where you guys are going. I guess I just opened myself up for a joke, like I would have known if I was still on the show. But I'm trying to. It's
a pretty obvious one, I think.
Yeah, I think I just cracked the code.
Yeah, but it's the crew again, me, Dave, Dan, Brandon, Big Ev, and then we're adding new segments this year, which will be very exciting. We have a new presenting sponsor. We have a brand new set.
You know who I'm doing a segment with this year?
I do.
I feel like I can say it. Nick Terraney joining the show for a segment this year.
Yeah, I've already been told that my team is going to get roasted quite often. So I'm very looking forward to that.
Without giving away what the segment is, there's some joke writing involved, and I sat in and when I say he and I wrote some jokes, I mean we were both in the same room together when the jokes were written. I feel like one probably did more of the heavy lifting than the other, but certainly
the comedy writer. I would say the comedy writer probably did.
He is very qualified. That's all I'm saying.
So yes, if Nick Terraney is joining the show, you know that it's going to be. It's not college football and analysis. We'll just say that. But also,
although he is a shockingly good.
Fan, yeah. He is. I mean, he's a West Virginia guy, but he also if he's involved in Barstool content, somebody's about to get roasted.
Right.
Should we also make our podcast announcement?
No, let's let that happen first.
Okay.
I think we all agree we need to let that happen before we announce it.
Okay, fine. Fair enough.
We'll just show up. It'll just happen the way we plan it, and then we can say, hey, look, there it is.
Okay, fair.
Frankly, week 2, I don't know how we're going to pull it off. Anyway, that's not neither here nor there. All right, so we've arrived at week 1. We have arrived at a week with several key games. Everybody's hitting the field, and we had a little teaser. Now, we'll really break down week 1 when we get to the next show. We'll get into Alabama and Miami. We'll get into Clemson and Georgia. We'll get into LSU, UCLA. We'll get into all that. And we might broach that topic a little bit in just a second. But really, this is about week 0, some takes I got coming out of week 0, some coaches who look like they're dead men walking all of a sudden, some programs that look like they're, oh, boy, will they ever get back to where you think? I wasn't talking about your program. I was obviously talking about Nebraska, Jack. Why don't you throw your hands up?
Because I thought you were sorry. I'm just
Jack is on the defense.
I'm damaged right now.
I mean,
I understand, but
he hasn't stopped frowning since we got on the Zoom.
Yeah, I was obviously the way I was framing that was obviously Nebraska. But yeah, here's the thing about Nebraska and UConn and Hawaii and all the teams that got beat yesterday.
New Mexico State.
New Mexico State, Southern Utah, which everybody was really worried about Southern Utah. here's the thing about playing on week 0. There's nowhere to hide.
None.
Yeah.
You cannot hide on week 0. If you get the benefit of everybody watching you, then the flip side is everybody's watching you. And buddy, I think Nebraska takes the most heat for that because they were the first game, they were on Fox, and there's just an expectation of where Nebraska should be, what they wanted when they hired their coach, and it ain't happening. So Nebraska, I don't even know if we're going to do a shit list for this week, but my God, it'd be hard not to fill it up with everything we saw out of them yesterday.
I didn't know if we were doing a shit list or not, but I mean, I feel like it's pretty obvious. So I mean,
but would you give it to the quarterback who just hasn't improved in 4 years? Would you give it to the coach, or would you just give it to the program as a whole? Like, I don't know.
I mean, if we are gonna, I guess we should start the shit list.
We'll start it next week.
Okay, we'll start next week. But the honorary week 0 shit list is just Nebraska as a whole. I think we can say that.
It's just it's so shocking to me. And I got a couple takes from this weekend. I got to take about Nebraska. I got to take about West Coast football. I got to take about the broadcast that we saw yesterday because, frankly, week 0, boy, that was not our best foot forward, was it? I'll try to talk my way around being politically correct on that one. Take an early glance at week 1. And then we got Jack fired up the hot take machine today for all the hot takes. So we got all that. And Katie, if I miss any news along the way, I don't know if we got much news. Is there anything sticking out there for us?
It's basically the hurricane. Like LSU, they're moving to Houston for the week, and Tulane, their game versus Oklahoma. It's like they're looking out for it, but nothing major.
By the way, thoughts go out certainly to South Louisiana, Mississippi, all the states in the path of this monster Hurricane Ida, which comes 16 years to the day.
That's insane.
16 years to the day of Hurricane Katrina.
I've been watching. I'm not a big Weather Channel person just because I feel like it's just always gloom and doom with this stuff. But I felt like because it is such a historic storm that I've been kind of paying more attention to it. I don't understand how they feel good sending their they have meteorologists right now just standing on Canal Street in New Orleans. I'm like, yeah. What are we doing here? This guy's getting blown over. I understand that we have to cover it, but if this is the biggest storm that Louisiana has seen since they said 1850, it's bigger than Katrina. Why is this man standing in the middle of the street getting blown around? Why?
Yeah. I mean, listen, a lot of men get blown in the street of New Orleans. Okay. But we don't have cameras there all the time. Sorry, I fumbled that joke. That could have been a lot better. That could have been a lot better. It was the recipe was there. I didn't cook it long enough.
You didn't let it marinate long enough.
No. I didn't cook it right. I just threw it on the grill and I overcooked it.
You did. You overcooked it. But the thought was there. And also, again, thoughts and prayers to everybody down there because it looks fucking awful.
Yeah. And it's week 0 for me too. So it is what it is. All right. So how do we want to attack this? I guess we just got to start with Nebraska, Illinois, right? Because there's a good and a bad. And the good is Bret Bielema, Illinois looked competent. And to me, this game was very simple. It was a competently coached football team against an incompetently coached football team, period. You had on Nebraska's side a 4th-year quarterback making freshman mistakes. You had punt returners fielding the ball at the 2-yard line and going in the end zone. And you had guys, and although this was questionable, you had guys hitting the quarterback after the play and costing yourself an interception. I do think that was questionable. But Nebraska, just every time they would take a step forward, they take 2 steps back. I think they have better football players than Illinois. But Illinois wasn't making mistakes. Illinois wasn't killing themselves. Illinois wasn't throwing the ball to the other team. Illinois was playing football to the best of their abilities, and Nebraska was not.
No, I mean, you're right. The biggest takeaway is that Bret Bielema outcoached Scott Frost. I mean, that's just plain and simple. And to say that, obviously, it's it's a first-year head coach versus a 4th-year head coach. But I mean, Bret Bielema has won Big Ten championships in his career, so it's not like he's just just a random out of nowhere guy. I mean, yes, he struggled at Arkansas, obviously, which is why he ended up getting let go. But Bret Bielema is very aware of how to win in the Big Ten. So I don't look at this as oh my God, humiliating for Scott Frost that some guy from nowhere outcoached you. It's more humiliating that Nebraska just looks the way that they do. And then the fact that first year Bret Bielema with Lovie Smith's guys from Illinois were able to outplay you as well.
it's fascinating with Bret because he just might be a Big Ten guy. He just might know the recipe to win in the Big Ten. Now, this is a one-game snapshot. They could go 3-9. They could go 4-8. They could lose. They could very easily lose to University of Texas San Antonio this weekend. They really could. But for one weekend, for one time, it was fantastic. And if you told me early in the second quarter when Nebraska was winning, I believe 9-2.
Because it was 2-0 going to the second quarter. I was like, boy, is this perfect.
And Brandon Peters, the Illinois quarterback, goes out. If you had given me an unlimited bank account when Arthur Sitkowski, the former Rutgers quarterback who once had 4 touchdowns and 18 interceptions in a season, probably the worst quarterback I've ever seen play a full season of college football. If you give me unlimited money and said, what do you want to do with this? I say, put it all on Nebraska, whatever the live spread is, they are about to hammer this team. And they didn't.
No, they didn't. Well, and not only that, I mean, and by the way, I have to call him Art. I feel like Art is such an old man's name. Like Art Sitkowski just sounds great.
Art Sitkowski, yes. He sounds like he sells couches in Yonkers.
Yes. But Art, when he came in and like they ran it like 8 straight times. Like to me, I was like, oh fuck, like they have no confidence in this guy, which why would they? Like you said, when he was at Rutgers, he was terrible. But then once he got comfortable and once they he didn't have to be absolutely amazing, but when they went to having him actually play quarterback as opposed to just handing the ball off, I was shocked. Because you're right. When Brandon Peters went down, I was like, oh boy, this is about to be ugly.
And then he made one throw that was beautiful, like a 40-yard throw on the sideline there that they ended up reviewing. It was short of the end zone, but my God, that was a beautiful throw. And I don't know that we need to just stay on this game very long because, it is Nebraska, Illinois. It's probably 2 teams that are heading towards losing seasons.
But like you said, Brandon, because it's week 0, there is such a spotlight on it. I mean, we talked about it going into this weekend. It was like, this is the game everybody cares about other than Jack. Sorry. Like this is the game. Now UCLA, obviously we have takeaways from that game as well. But like when you looked at Illinois versus Nebraska, that was the biggest game of the weekend. It was the first game of the college football season. And so you look at, and Scott Frost, his seat was already pretty warm going into the season. Him losing to Illinois, I mean, he's got to have the hottest seat in the country.
I mean,
no shit.
I mean, Katie's asked us time and again on the show, who's the first coach to get fired? I don't know that either one of us ever said Scott Frost, but now he's got to be the heavy favorite. He's got to be the heavy favorite to get fired.
Because he played in week 0. Because like depending on what Justin Fuente does next weekend, like he could get embarrassed too, and then we might say, well, but like I said Fuente. What I didn't realize was that in the time, like, and I think we both mentioned Scott Frost in passing. But it was like week 0, you are on such display and you humiliated yourself. Not because, it was a close game at the end, but like just the coaching, like in the 4th quarter, they're down by multiple scores and they're just taking their dear sweet time. They didn't have any urgency. And it's like, what are you doing? Everyone in the country is watching this. Like this isn't buried by another game right now.
Adrian Martinez, man. I believe I said on here, he's my choice for post-hype sleeper. I would like to go back and punch myself in the face. That was dumb.
Week 0, you want to punch yourself in the face?
I've run myself into trouble assuming a guy who's been around a long time is just going to turn good. I did that with Felipe Franks a couple of years ago, and he was garbage. I've done it now with this guy, and I'm also doing it with Spencer Sanders this year, although Spencer Sanders hasn't been as bad as those other 2. But yeah, I thought, hey, post-hype sleeper, this could be his year. No, he was god awful.
He was, and granted, like to give him a little tiny bit of credit, like the tiniest, it's not like he has anybody to throw to either. Like there's just not many weapons on that team. But the scoop and score when he fumbled, and I was like, how many fumbles has this guy had in his career? He's had 26 fumbles like in his career. That's insane. And maybe I read it wrong. Maybe I'm dyslexic, but I'm pretty sure it's 26. Like he looked god awful yesterday, but he also doesn't have anybody to help him either.
If you're dyslexic, then he actually had 62, which is much worse.
Well, that's true. I feel like maybe I read the stat wrong, but I'm pretty sure it was 26. But he, and I'm not, he deserves most of the hate, no doubt, but he does not have anybody to throw to either.
By the way, I have a take about Nebraska I want to fire off, but before I get there, I got to say, Nebraska, Illinois under 52.5 is why we do this.
College
I
kicker.
gave out under 55 on my show Pick Central Friday. But then on Saturday, I was going to wake up and bet it. And when I woke up, it was down to 52.5. And I was like, ugh. So I bet it. And then, first of all, that under should have cruised because those offenses were garbage for like half the game. And then there was a half where it was going under the whole way, no sweat.
No sweat.
Then in the third quarter, there were, I believe, 3 touchdowns in maybe a minute and a half, 2 minutes, something like that. The over was shot. Then they didn't score anymore, and you come down, and they're on track. It's at 46. Nebraska's got 4th and goal. They score a touchdown, gets them to 52, over under 52.5, and Nebraska's kicker misses his 2nd extra point of the day. That's college football. That's college football gambling in a nutshell. I was on the good side of it. If I'd been on the bad side, I don't know that it would have tanked my year.
Yeah, I mean, wasn't Dave on the over?
I think Dave was on the over. I think Big Cat was on the under. Yeah.
Yeah, like because I the video, it was so perfect because they were, because obviously they're calling the Showtime fight tonight, so they're like at like the press conference for this massive fight. They're watching this, and like Dave just like stares and has this blank stare. It's like it's week 0, college football's back, baby. I mean, overall, just special teams like all day yesterday from game like they just garbage. I mean, college kickers made their return in 2021 just like we expected, but. I mean, if you had the over in that was a bad beat.
I know we're not doing shit list today, but I do have, I guess, you know what? Let's just do it because I'm about to put somebody on my shit list while we're talking about Nebraska, Illinois. Tim Brando, who we never talk about as being kind of like, we talk about a lot of media members and we never talk about Tim Brando.
Kind of sucks.
He stinks. And somebody dug up a quote from him on the Feinbaum show, September 2018. Scott Frost is built for success, and I'm going to tell you, he will win multiple national titles at Nebraska. He'll be competing for a Big Ten title within 3 years, and he could be the next generation's Nick Saban. Now, we've all had bad predictions.
Yeah, no doubt.
The issue was, while this was happening, he was just going on a blocking spree. Everybody that hit him up, he would block, and then he would send he's an old guy, so I don't know if he really understands Twitter, but he was blocking everyone left and right. And Tim Brando, come on, buddy, at least laugh about it.
Well, you talk about like people that, granted, Tim Brando saying he's going to be the next Nick Saban is just wild. Like anytime you say that, like that's crazy. Like even like Athlon. If you look at their preview, like the first sentence is, I don't think anyone expects Scott Frost to be on the hot seat right now. Like, I think we're talking a lot of people are going to get exposed for their Scott Frost takes. And that's the preview going into this season.
Well, I think some things have gone on backstage that have kind of sped up his process as well.
Also, but Tim Brando probably if you're going to spew out those takes, just don't read your notifications.
When you get OTE'd, when you get old takes exposed, you just eat it. You have to eat it.
You have to.
I've been OTE'd many times. I have a personal relationship with this guy. Yeah. I know the guy. He's a Florida fan. I've been OTE'd so much that he has DM'd me before and been like, hey man, I just got to do it. I'm like, okay. Yeah.
Oh, I know. I get OTE'd, but then it's really fun whenever I get to go OTE somebody else. My relationship with that guy started when we hired Dion, and I was like, oh my God, Deion Sanders is going to be our coworker. And multiple people were like, oh, saying Deion Sanders is your coworker is like saying the guy that runs the hot dog stand at Yankee Stadium is coworkers with Aaron Judge. And when we announced the NFL show, I just went back and just posted all the graphics, and the OTE guy came in and was like, kudos, tip of the cap to you.
Yeah, I love the OTE guy. All right, I got one more Nebraska take that I'll fire off right now. I don't always get jealous of your dad, but sometimes I do. And every time I see this company's name, I remember how they sent your dad Texas A&M clothing. And they've got clothing for every college in the country, all these major colleges, all these college football colleges. And I just know your dad's out there in Dallas somewhere rocking some Peter Millar Texas A&M gear.
Oh, not only is he rocking the college gear, he rocks the golf gear. He rocks just the regular Peter Millar. But Peter Millar really stepped up their game. I know they did this last season as well. But now that they have all basically 150 different
licensed collegiate apparel for 150 schools.
licensed too. So like, and if you haven't worn Peter Millar, and like, even if it's not just your college, like, it is so soft. It is so comfortable. They make things for women too. So you don't have to just like rock the dude stuff. I love the A&M sweater that I got from Peter Millar last year. I need some more. But the cool thing is, Brandon, is that now that people can be back at games and back at tailgates and back out there, you want to put your best foot forward, but you also want to be comfortable. And Peter Millar is so well made, and you can rock your school. Like, why wouldn't you at this point?
So they got the lightweight polos, they got comfortable second layers, but ladies and gentlemen, it's about to be QZ season. It's about to be quarter zip season.
I love QZ season. I mean, listen, anytime the weather starts to change and you can pull out a QZ or you can pull out a hoodie, that's what you need to do. But I mean, Peter Millar in general, everything they have, the long sleeve, short sleeve, they've got it for youths. They've got it for women. They've got it for men. It's all so comfortable. And 150 schools, I would be guaranteeing you right now that if you're listening to this podcast, Peter Millar has your school.
Each item is embroidered by the in-house team, meaning your game day attire will have the quality that you expect from Peter Millar. And Kayce's right. They got collegiate styles for women, for youth. The entire family can be dressed the right way. Peter Millar. Be sure to visit petermillar.com/roughness for free shipping and get a complimentary gift with your order. That's petermillar.com/roughness.
Complimentary gift. I mean, that's you.
Sounds good. Hey, Peter Millar, maybe throw us a complimentary gift or something.
I love some Peter Millar, please.
Holler at your boy. Unnecessary. As Peter Millar. All right, before I get into my Nebraska take, I have to share a couple of DMs because there just are no fans like college football fans. There's no fans as sensitive, as whiny, as pathetic, emotional as us. We're just absolutely emotional babies. That's myself included, you included, Jack obviously included. So I got a couple. Okay, so I tweeted in the first quarter after they had the punt fiasco for safety, after they fell behind. I tweeted Scott Frost might get fired this quarter. A couple of DMs I got from Eli Shannon. Ha ha ha! I can't imagine what Mississippi State would look like right now. Fuck you, Brandon. Go eat some corn. # Go Big Red. You stupid Mississippi idiot. And then my other one was from Kayce Walker. He had 9 months. He came up with Kayce. Shut up, bitch ass. Mike Leach is going to get fired when Mississippi State doesn't win a game this year. # Go Big Red. To which I have absolutely DM'd him back relentlessly on the hour because I'm a child. I said, thank you for that. And I just, every hour on the hour, I texted him, are you doing okay? It's not your fault.
That's so petty. I love it. And that's the thing is like, when people say don't respond to the trolls, like a lot of times that's true. But if you can just absolutely dunk on them, it's so much fun. It brings us such joy.
Here's my take about Nebraska. First of all, they fell behind 2-0. They felt doomed. Then they went up 9-2, and boy, they were feeling themselves all of a sudden. They were feeling good. They ended up losing. But here's the thing about Nebraska. I'm going to loop Tennessee fans into this too because they have to learn the new reality of their college football worlds. And it's not pleasant. You lived through some incredible times in the 90s, but you have to learn the reality of a new college football world because they still won't admit that firing Bo Pelini for winning 9 games a year was a mistake. They will not admit that. They will sit here and they will say, even though they have just gone through trash, they haven't been able to get back, they're losing to Illinois on national TV, they will still say it was the right decision at the time. Same thing Tennessee fans say when they didn't hire Greg Schiano and they ran him out on a rail for made-up charges. Oh, it was the right decision. No, it's demonstrably the wrong decision. Bo Pelini was doing okay. He was doing fine. 9 wins a year. That was good. That was you were living. You were living. Now you're dead. That was the wrong decision. It's okay to admit this is the wrong decision. But Nebraska fans, Tennessee fans have to get used to the new reality. They want to pretend that they will not accept anything less than 11-1, 12-0 competing for a national title. We won't accept that. We will not. We're Nebraska. We're used to more. No, your parents were used to more.
Right. It's been 25 years.
Your grandparents were used to more. Your storybooks, your black and white photos, they were used to more. You're not used to shit. You're used to struggling. You're used to getting embarrassed on national TV by Illinois. Now, I think it can get better once you hire the right coach, but you can't just accept 12-0 and act like we have high expectations because of what happened in 2 generations ago. You have to understand that you got to get to 8-4, 9-3 every year first.
Yeah, and in the 90s, I mean, we're quite literally almost 30 years ago at this point. So it's like, I mean, I grew, I know it's crazy. Like I was a little kid watching Nebraska win. I've talked about this before. Like my next door neighbors growing up were big Nebraska fans. Like I remember that, but I was so young and just being jealous. But now it's like, that's a long time ago. I'm in my 30s. But I will say that the most like the cop out defense is it was the right decision at the time. And it's like people, when they like a lot of times you hear them be like, well, you know, it was the right decision. And then they can make an argument. It's like, well, at the time it seemed like the right decision. Well, you can just say now it was the wrong decision. Like that's the same way as saying that they shouldn't have fired Bo Pelini. And I do think, and I did see a lot of rational Nebraska fans, like, you know, they were pissed, but they were like, yeah, we fucking suck. Like, we know we suck. Like, we're sad. There were a very big contingency of that group of people yesterday.
Here's the thing. The consequences of a decision will always tell you if the decision was right or wrong. Always.
Right.
And if you go from winning 9 games a year to winning 4 games a year, that was a wrong decision, no matter what the coach's name is. I feel like right now we got a fan base in the Southeast that could be very soon facing the same reality. Like Auburn believes they believe steadfastly firing Gus Malzahn was the right call. We might find out soon it was very much the wrong call, but we'll see. We'll let that play out. But like Tennessee says, hiring Rick Schiano would have been a disaster. No, disaster is what you're living right now.
Yeah, and I mean, and it's his 4th year, and he's 12-21, and again, it's not, you know, I mean, week 0. That's, you know, you scheduled a week 0. The entire world saw it. Had that game been next weekend when there's a gazillion games, maybe we wouldn't have been as on notice. But like, you guys just flat out stink. You're just bad. And like, I would love to see Nebraska come back. Brand, I think you've said the same thing. Nebraska being good at football is fun. Adrian Martinez is not good. Scott Frost is not good. He got out-coached by Bret Bielema first year again, which is not the most embarrassing thing ever. But like, are we forgetting that Scott Frost said no to Joe Burrow because he thought Adrian Martinez was so good? Like Scott Frost could have had Joe Burrow. And I'm not saying that Joe Burrow would have been LSU's Joe Burrow. We don't know. But Joe Burrow wanted to go to Nebraska.
I don't know, Kayce. Like, what happens to Joe Burrow if that happens? Because he's had Adrian Martinez 4 years, and Adrian Martinez is objectively worse after 4 years of coaching than he was the first year.
And I mean, you do look at it again. We always talk about LSU, and LSU fans get it all in a tizzy when we say, quote, lightning in a bottle. Again, that's a good thing when we talk about 2019, folks. But it is. I mean, I guess you're right. Like Joe Burrow and Joe Brady and that combo.
But Joe Burrow never happens if he goes to Nebraska.
Right. But I mean, it's just still, it's easy to say in retrospect. And it's kind of like, you know, no offense to Mac Brown, but it's like, you know, Mac Brown wanted, you know, RG3 to play defensive back, wanted Johnny Manziel to play defensive back. In retrospect, it's always easy to make fun of those decisions. But you're right. Joe Burrow going to Nebraska probably would have never been Joe Burrow that we know now. But it still is crazy to look and be like, Scott Frost, you thought this guy that's playing right now is better than one of the best quarterbacks in college football history? You buffoon.
Let's transition to UCLA for a second, because I saw something out of UCLA yesterday that is reason that college football is regional. It's also reason that this alliance is really, really stupid. I also want to apologize to Jack because I completely I hyenaed a tweet from him. He put it on Unnecessary Roughness. He put a picture of the crowd at UCLA, and I just tweeted the picture and said, crowds are back, exclamation point, and it blew up. So sorry, Jack. I didn't know if you were mad that I vultured that.
No.
Yeah. All right. I was completely Johnny come lately. I was like, look at this tweet. What a good tweet. I'll do it myself.
What a thing at Barstool, stealing other people's content, you know? Give them a $1 gift card.
So anyway, I tweeted it out. Jack tweeted out first a picture of the Rose Bowl, the iconic Rose Bowl, and its incredible silver bleachers. Whatever. The
greatest thing that Kayce Smith's ever seen in her life.
Yeah.
I never said that. You guys
I'm kidding.
But
it's
I mean,
it's whatever.
I have been to the Rose Bowl when it is full. Okay, I've not been to an empty Rose Bowl.
So we saw this overhead shot, and we'll talk about UCLA because they're going to beat LSU next weekend. But here's the thing about that shot. It made me realize why college football is regional, because nobody cares at LA. Nobody cares about UCLA. Nobody cares about USC. Nobody cares on the West Coast. I think Oregon fans care, but outside them, Nobody out there cares. Yeah, there's probably some Washington fans who will DM me, but this is the opener of a season that's very important to your coach. And that stadium was 5% full.
And not only important to their coach, they couldn't go to games last year.
No.
We're coming off of a year where you had to sit at home even if you didn't want to. And I saw people being like, well, school's not even in session yet. So fucking what? Like,
UCLA kids never go to the game, so don't tell the excuse that they're not in school yet. That's ridiculous.
Also, when they said, "Oh, it's 100 degrees out here today," well, it was 96 in Illinois, who's not used to that heat, and you had 300-pound dudes out in the stands sweating popcorn butter just to watch their team. So that was fine.
That's also where, like, we were talking about last week, like hurricane shaming and snow shaming. Like, it's easy for us because we go to we grew up going to games in 105-degree temperature for like 2 months in the South. It's like, oh, you guys can't handle 100-degree heat. I mean, in LA, 100 degrees is pretty hot.
Well, yeah, whatever. It's still not an excuse.
I know, but I mean, it's like they aren't used to that. I will say.
Let me give you 100 degrees hot anywhere, but here's the thing, and I realized this afterwards. So the Pac-12 entered this alliance, right, that they're going to schedule. Until the fans take it seriously and the players take that seriously, I don't know that we'll ever really see another power rise out there, because I was shocked when I actually realized this. What I'm about to say is shocking, okay?
Okay.
You got UCLA, you got USC, you got Oregon, okay? The top 5 teams in the country are Alabama, Clemson, Ohio State, Georgia, and Oklahoma. Those are the top 5 teams in the country. Kayce, what state is Alabama's quarterback from?
Is he from California?
Jack, help her out. Oh, California.
California.
From California.
What state is Clemson's quarterback from?
California.
No.
What state is Ohio State starting quarterback
from? Hawaii.
DJ is from California. DJ is from California.
Okay.
Or at least played high school football in California, excuse me. What state is Ohio State starting quarterback CJ Stroud from?
California.
What state is Georgia's starting quarterback from?
California.
Now, this one is different, but what state is Oklahoma's starting quarterback from?
Arizona.
Arizona, yeah.
Arizona. All 5 top 5 quarterbacks are from the Pac-12 footprint, are from the West Coast. 4 of them are from California. Those 4 guys, all high 4 or 5-star prospects, got the fuck out of California. Why? Because they went to where football matters. They went to where the fans are. They went to where the fans care. They went to where the money is. They went to where the TV is. And they went away from the Pac-12. If the Pac-12 had DJ Uiagalelei or Bryce Young or CJ Stroud or JT Daniels, which he did go there first, he's a little different, or had Spencer Rattler, it's a different Pac-12. But because there's crowds like that garbage we saw yesterday at UCLA, why would they stay? Why would they stay?
And it is like, when you talk about high school recruiting, and I know, Jack's a big recruiting guy, we're not as much, but like, you've got Texas, California, and Florida, which obviously makes sense.
Oh, wait, hold on. This was a 6 team. Who's number 6? It's Iowa State, right? Or they're 7. Brock Purdy's from Arizona too. Keep going.
Okay. I was about to say, no, sir. Number 6, he's from Texas, baby.
7's Iowa State. Go ahead.
No, but like, you talk about high school recruiting, and when you look at like teams in Florida, and it's like if a guy gets out of Florida and goes somewhere, it's like, oh my God, I can't believe the Florida schools weren't able to keep him. Texas, the same way, because they are such big states, which makes sense. You're going to have more high school talent coming out of bigger states. But we don't even blink an eye whenever guys leave California. If a Texas quarterback ends up going to OU or going to, Clemson or whatever, it becomes this gigantic deal. We don't even blink an eye. Like, I don't even think that I realized Bryce Young was from California until I realized the bit that you were doing. I knew that DJ Uiagalelei played high school football there, but like, why? I mean, California just gets a pass because West Coast football and college football, no one cares about as much.
It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. And I hadn't put that together that the top 5 teams literally all have quarterbacks from the West Coast. It's just shocking.
Nobody talks about it. But again, if you did the roles were reversed, Brandon, and you talked about Florida and like all of the top 5 quarterbacks and like Florida schools were involved and they were all from Florida, Like it would be just like this huge, like beat down on Florida and Florida State and Miami.
Coaches would be getting fired.
Right. But like UCLA and USC get a pass because
they don't care.
Right.
Najee Harris, by the way, Antioch, California. Like it just, the list goes on and on and on of these players that are going east to play.
There was a guy who actually DM'd us on Instagram who said, hey Jack, show this to Kayce, like a California school beat a Texas school and high school football. It was like California runs high school football. And then, 3 days later, we have this discussion that really opens,
also,
like it doesn't really even matter.
DM that guy back and tell him I don't give a fuck.
I know. I knew you didn't care. It's funny how it all like lined up.
Like, it's just like, okay, like when have you ever heard me talk about me caring about Texas high school football? And listen, like I love Friday Night Lights. I love the entertainment and I loved going to games there, like recruiting, whatever. But like, I have not given two shits about who wins in states in high school football since I was in high school.
Good, because Texas high school football is probably the most overrated thing out there. It's ridiculous.
Well, see now, sir.
You don't care.
I don't care, but you can't say that it's overrated.
Oh, you can.
They just make movies and TV shows.
If Texas high school football was all that great, why does Texas suck every fucking year? That's my question.
No, okay, and that is fair, but like we're also talking about, just like the folklore of it. Like I haven't been back to a high school football game unless
Did you go to a football factory?
What?
Did you go to a football factory?
No.
You didn't?
No.
Jeff D. Lowe did, I'm pretty sure, or maybe they just played them.
I went to 6A TAP school. I went to a private school. So like a few guys went and played, but no, but my like growing up in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, obviously I knew a lot of kids who went, like all of them from like DeSoto and Allen and all of that.
But
so
your high school didn't have a huge stadium or nothing like that?
Oh no, we had a big stadium and we won the state championship twice when I was in school. But it's TAP 6A. It's like, I think from my class, like the biggest school that a guy went to was like Louisiana Monroe.
Okay. I come from the best high school football program in Mississippi.
I know that.
All right. I just want to clear that up.
But no, listen,
tell that
give a shit.
If Mississippi football's so good, then why does Ole Miss and Mississippi State suck every year?
First of all, we were number one in the country a couple of years ago. Second, we unfortunately have to live in a neighborhood with Alabama, with LSU, and they take some of our good players. Like Texas A&M has one of our good defensive linemen. He went out there and got arrested. But also, we're in the smallest state in the SEC's footprint, and we inexplicably have two schools splitting that up. Like per capita, Mississippi's always 1, 2, or 3 in NFL players out of our high school system. But, we got two SEC schools splitting the talent. And then you got Alabama, Auburn, LSU poaching the talent. Like 3 years ago, we had a 5-star. We had a couple 5-stars in the school. One went to LSU, one went to Georgia. I'm sure they drove over there in very nice vehicles. But it is what it is. Shut up, Jack.
Yeah.
I also got completely sidetracked because like behind me in my living room is my TV. Dan and Dave wearing like actual like nice suits with like Showtime microphones is throwing me off. Like I know that they usually wear suits for advisors as like a joke. Like them looking like actual broadcasters is freaking me out.
That picture of them in suits, they look like guys that own a funeral parlor that charge you $10,000 and then you just throw your body in a ditch.
I can't like, and Dave obviously being as rich.
Dave can pull off a suit. Dan can't.
Like that, I think that's what's throwing me off because I'm looking at them right now. Like, can you see them from where you guys are sitting? Like, this is so weird to me.
No, I'm working.
I'm working too. I just happen to be able to see my TV in my gorgeous condo. I think it's Dan. You're right. I don't want to throw Dan on the bus because I love him so much, but like, this is strange. I don't like it.
All right.
Sorry.
I want to debut my watch out. I want to debut my watch out list for week 1. These teams better watch out.
Wait. Are we done with UCLA?
I think UCLA is going to beat LSU. Hawaii's not very good. I think they'll be like a 5-win team. They were average. People were like, "Oh, Hawaii sucks." No, they're not that bad. UCLA was pretty good. But what do you want to say about it? UCLA beat the shit out of them.
Yeah, no, I know they did, but I just like, I know you've been high on like Chip Kelly, and I mean, obviously Hawaii wasn't any good, but like the first time he's won an opener at UCLA, like Dorian Thompson-Robinson wasn't that great, but their running game looked awesome.
Well, that's the dirty secret about Oregon when he was there, man. It wasn't the quarterbacks. It was, and listen, he had a Heisman winner in Marcus Mariota. He had good players, good quarterbacks, but when they were really going good, LaMichael James was leading the Pac-12 in rushing 2 years in a row. You know, they had running back after running back after running back that was just really good. And if he can, I think he is like, if he gets that going first, then Dorian Thompson-Robinson will fall in behind that. But I'm a little worried about DTR because he wasn't great. So LSU is going to be a step up.
Did you see what his mom tweeted though, which I thought was very funny? She tweeted, "Thank you at Michigan football," because of Zach Charbonnet. I'm assuming I'm saying that correctly.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like that was petty to me. I love petty.
It's wild because Zach Charbonnet at Michigan, they handed him the ball. I don't know if he averaged 4.5, 5 yards a carry. Never looked explosive, never looked special. He gets out to UCLA and he's got 3 touchdowns on 6 carries. So
yeah, I mean, granted, like you said, it is Hawaii. Like Hawaii's defense didn't look good, but like just the fact. And by the way, fantastic name. Charbonnet is just a fantastic name. But I loved that Dorian Thompson-Robinson's mom got in the mix in week 0. Like anytime that happens, like I'm sitting here with my popcorn.
And I'll just say this quickly because I don't want to get myself in trouble. Week 0, 2 games on major networks. The broadcast stunk. I mean, they stunk. The Fox one, they didn't have a goal line cam for the safety that might not have been a safety. They constantly didn't have replays on what happened. Like the huge play where it had a roughing the passer and then a taunting. We never got a replay of that properly. The announcing, like they started the game at 1:20, whatever. They had a 20-minute pregame show. The energy of the announcers just didn't meet the occasion. Why did they send their C crew to this game? And then ESPN, I didn't think that game was well announced either. I just thought it was bad broadcasting.
That Fox crew wasn't their C crew. That's their number 1 crew. That's
not their number 1 crew, is it? No. Didn't Joel Klatt on their number 1 crew? Who's on their number 1 crew? Dusty? No, Gus is their number 1 guy, right?
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Gus and Dusty, right?
And Jenny Taft.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't even think that was their number 2 crew.
Yeah, why did they not send their number 1 crew?
Who knows? They had Reggie Bush and Matt Leinart there. Or not, actually, they were just in studio. But why? I don't understand why they didn't send their number 1 crew. They had the game that everybody wanted to watch.
Yeah, it is a good point.
All right. I thought the broadcast stopped. All right. Week 1, we'll get to our hot takes from you guys in just a second. I'm going to debut. If you guys want to think about this, I literally just did it. I didn't plan this. I just did it on the show. I wrote this down. These teams better watch out in week 1. These teams that are favorites, maybe they're ranked, maybe they're not, maybe they're, I don't know. But I got 4 teams on my you better watch out in week 1 list. I will say them. If you guys see anybody else or if you want to expound on them, go ahead. Oregon better watch out. Oregon's playing Fresno State. Fresno State just played yesterday. They killed UConn. We all knew they were going to kill UConn. I'm not going to pile on UConn because they're a bad football team. Whatever, that happens. But Fresno State, good quarterback, good offense, got to go out there and run through plays and have a game yesterday and knock the rust off without really much challenge. Now they go to Oregon, and they're catching 20.5 points at Oregon, who's debuting a new quarterback, Anthony Brown, who they like a lot. But Oregon, top 10, 12 team, Fresno State is not a pushover at all. I think Oregon better watch out this weekend.
I don't hate that take. Katie's been high on Oregon.
Yeah, has she?
Decently, but I still think I see where you're coming from, but I still think that UConn was so bad that we don't really have a chance to see. I don't know if his UConn was bad or Fresno was good.
I think the truth is both. I think Fresno's pretty good.
I think there's a mixture of it too, though. I mean, I know we were going to not let Jack talk since they scored 0 points, but UConn is god awful. I mean,
winning a national title takes it out of you, first of all. All right.
Yeah. Letdown year.
I mean, look at LSU last year. They came in, they got killed by Mississippi State. LSU, then UConn, 2 back-to-back national champs that lost. Jack, is that the take we're going with?
No, my take is
okay.
all you guys on this podcast and most of the people listening, you have college football privilege. You have a team that is amazing. You have teams that are even at least okay, and they're in the SEC or the ACC. I'm in a land of nowhere, nothing.
You didn't
Everybody was tweeting at me, like, this is the worst thing I've ever seen. How did you convince me to bet UConn, blah, blah, blah. I get it. I'll eat that. But I'm in a land of nothing, nowhere. I'm an independence. I'm the man in the arena, and I've seen the top, the BCS top, and I've seen the bottom, and the bottom stinks, but I'm not going anywhere. And so when I get to 6-6, I get to 9-3, that's going to feel so much more to me than anybody else out there will ever feel.
No, Jack.
Predominantly the people in this podcast and those that are listening. I won't leave. I'm not leaving.
No, but that's not like, bro. Okay, so first of all three of us that do have programs right now that are bigger programs, yes, it's not like we've been winning national titles this whole time.
No, Kayce, he's right. He's right.
He's right.
No, he's right.
You guys are privileged.
If A&M,
privileged.
No, if A&M wins,
let me tell you why he's right.
Let
me tell you why.
Let me say this first. If A&M wins a national title, I can guarantee you I will feel better than Jack would feel going 6-6.
No, that's not what I said. That's not what I meant.
Let me tell you why he's right, okay? I, too, know what the bottom feels like. I, too, know what it feels like to look in the fans' proverbial mirror and look at yourself and say, I'm here with these guys when it's tough, and my God, when it gets good, it's going to be incredible. I'm riding with my boys. I don't care. I'd rather lose as a Mississippi State guy. I'd rather lose as a UConn guy than win as anybody else. I know what it feels like.
We've all been there.
What?
Katie's about to bring up that North Carolina went 2-10 one year. That's what she's about to bring up.
My team got beat 77-0.
That's one game though. We had seasons.
We all know what the bottom feels like. None of us know what the top feels like. How about that?
Here's the past 8 years. 3-9.
My team was number 1 in 2014 for 5 weeks. I know what the top feels like.
No.
3-9, 2-10, 6-7, 3-9, 3-9, 1-11, 2-10. A made up rivalry game with the school that's thousands of miles away. A coach that wanted football games televised on Nickelodeon, which may have actually been a visionary considering that the NFL playoff games was on Nickelodeon. But you lost 77-0. Yeah, you won 2-10 one year. 3-9, 2-10, 3-9, 3-9, 1-11, 2-10.
But Jack, here's the thing though. Who expects UConn football to be any good?
Me. I do.
Fair though, but like the expectations on, A&M, for example, are so much higher that when they do stink.
Like A&M's privileged. You guys have expectations.
No, I don't think that that's what that means.
Far and away worst discussion in the history of this podcast. All right.
Yeah, but can we all admit, like, we all know what the bottom feels like. We don't know what the top feels like. Can we just settle at that?
What he's saying is he's so far at the bottom that when he gets to the middle, it's going to feel like the top.
I understand that.
Well, then why'd you fight back?
Because none of us know what the top feels like. So how would we know how good?
I'm sorry, Kayce. My team was number 1 for 5 weeks in the country.
Winning.
In 2014.
Being number 1 at the end of the year. None of us know how that feels.
Oh, do we not? Ever heard of college baseball? Huh?
I'm talking about college.
No.
I'm sorry, Katie. Has your team won a national title in the last 2 months?
Yeah, I've won UNC. I've won a national title nearly every year I've been there.
Actually, I'm the only one on this podcast that my school didn't win a national title at anything this year. So.
All right.
UConn didn't.
Notre Dame.
Yeah, they won a football one.
I'd rarely do this. Can y'all shut the fuck up?
Rarely. You tell us that every day.
Yeah.
Notre Dame better watch out. This line came out at like 13. It's down to 7.5. They play at Florida State, Mackenzie Milton. Florida State, a desperate, wounded animal of a program. And Notre Dame, I just don't think has it this year. I don't know if they're going to lose. They better watch out in week 1.
Why'd you get so close to the camera?
USC. USC, Clay Helton always living on that cut line, always living on that hot seat, always right here. But everybody has high hopes for Keaton Slovis and all those receivers, Drake London, Brew McCoy. USC has San Jose State, who just played a game. San Jose State went 7-0 last year. San Jose State ain't scared of USC. Week 1, USC better. Watch out.
Watch out. Well, I mean, and I know you've mentioned it multiple times. You even said it before week 0 actually was played, but that, LSU should be on lookout alert. I think anytime you like UCLA just got tuned up. Yes, it was Hawaii and Hawaii stinks, but playing a game in real live action against a team that's not yours is obviously going to give you a leg up no matter what. So it doesn't matter if it's just San Jose State, like they already are into the season.
North Carolina.
Shut up.
You better watch out. You're going into a hornet's nest. You're going into a coach coaching for his life. You're going into a team that hasn't really felt success lately. You're going into a team that's played some crazy games against North Carolina the last 2 years. 43-41 2 years ago. Last year was 91-90. It was wild. North Carolina better watch out. North Carolina with all those weapons missing. Are you watching out, Katie?
Katie.
I now know I'm terrified. I literally yelled at 2 of our now non-interns to shut the fuck up when they talk to me and like taunting me about it. No,
Which interns got jobs?
Genuinely, fuck it. Most of them.
Okay. Really? I didn't think that was a very good class of interns.
Some of them are mine. I'm not talking about.
I don't know if
you are talking about it in public though.
I don't know how good. Like, I mean, I'm not going to speak to their like talent level, but I will say the approachability that they have. I mean, I get the what's the word I'm looking for? The entitlement of approachability for this intern class is comfortability. Like they'll just talk to anybody. Like I feel like when I even started as a full-time person, I didn't feel like I could do that. Like they'll just talk to literally anyone. Yeah,
they like to post up around Jack's desk, Jack McCarthy, which is across from Jack. They like to post up over there by you guys.
It's so annoying, and they always post up at the times when like I just happen to have to do something, and they're just all standing around. It's just, but anyways, I actually think their confidence was inspiring.
Oh, isn't that beautiful? All right, let's do your hot takes. Y'all want to do that?
Yeah. Do you are you gonna go through them, or you want us to?
Well, I got them pulled up. You've done a lot of freaking tweeting.
Can I say something really quick, Jack?
Oh, I had a great tweet today. Yeah.
Why do you have to do that to me?
Did you see that one, Brandon?
What is it?
He just again.
No. Look for it. It was like 2 hours ago. I just want him to like have the live reaction.
Why? Why do you do this to me?
Okay, okay. So it's not Michigan takes down. Oh, what 2 QB systems I saw Leak Tebow have worked, and you said Kyler Murray and Kyle Allen because they stuck. They both left.
Yep.
At the same time, like, Jack, like you're such a big A&M guy. Like I thought you were on my side here. Why do we have to bring up old shit?
Dude, A&M's had so many quarterbacks, so many fun quarterbacks. Like I was watching the other day a replay of when A&M was number 4 in 2016 and we beat them. I totally forgot Trevor Knight was your quarterback.
Yep. Yes.
I just totally forgot. There's so much. Kenny Hill, I just totally forgot. A&M has had 20 quarterbacks the last 10 years.
They've been chasing Johnny's ghost. I mean, it's just losing Kyler Murray and Kyle Allen at the same time is just a travesty. And fucking Jack, who's supposed to be on my side of things, like he just got to bring it up for no reason.
Wait, hold on. When did this happen where Jack was just on your side?
Last week. I mean, literally like 4 days ago, you were talking about how Jack's the biggest A&M fan on the podcast.
Oh, I think I was just taking a dig at you. No,
because Jack was like posting all about like Haynes King.
Oh, that's right. I said he was the biggest Haynes King fan on the podcast.
Well, you said A&M because then he was listen, this is fine.
That dude loves some Haynes King.
I bet you if you go back and listen, you said A&M, and that's fine. But just why we got to bring up old shit?
Don't holler at me, Kayce.
You know who I really love though? This quarterback you guys have coming next year. He's the number 1 quarterback now because what's his name went to Ohio State. I think
Connor Wegman or something. Wegman.
Yeah, it's Wiegman. I mean, maybe he was playing a bad team on Friday night, but I saw his stats. He's could be very good. Hopefully, he doesn't decommit from you guys.
Katie, what the fuck just happened?
What happened to Katie?
She's on mute.
Mouse.
A mouse?
Yeah.
No big deal. It's a mouse. It's not that big of a deal.
You come here and kill
burn
it.
my apartment down if I saw a rodent.
I would reach down and I would hold the mouse. I would kiss the mouse. It's a mouse.
No. I literally would set my entire apartment on fire.
I've been dying for one of you when Barstool freaks out because there's a mouse around. I just want to be there so I can just go up and pet it, and grab it.
That's
all
in
the
the
time,
office.
Brandon.
This is where I live.
All right.
Katie, I'm on your side. All right, Brandon. So these days, your portfolio is not just about your stock market stuff. It's not just about things that are in American currency.
Right.
We're talking about crypto, baby.
Crypto. And yes, my portfolio used to be a bag of pork rinds and a bunch of cartoon t-shirts, but not anymore.
Not anymore. Not that the crypto game is skyrocketing, and it's a new generation. It's a new thing. Sometimes you can't even wrap your head around it, but FTX is the world's most popular mobile app for cryptocurrency tracking and trading. There's all different kinds of crypto that you can be in. We personally at Barstool, we love SafeMoon. Listen, FTX can help you track all of it.
You can get phone notification updates directly from the projects you care about. You can build your portfolio and follow the prices of more than 10,000 coins. That's a shit ton of coins. That's a lot of coins out there, but FTX can help you make sense of it and follow everything you need to follow. You can buy and sell Bitcoin, Ethereum, Dogecoin, and other top tokens with absolutely zero fees and get a free coin with every trade over $10. They take the difficulty out of understanding this stuff because for somebody stupid like me, whatever.
I mean, I don't think even like the smartest people in the world don't necessarily understand where crypto is going to go, but we've seen in the past that it is definitely going upwards. So yes. FTX can help you with that. By the way, if you're listening and hear me out, if you have crypto, make sure you're saving those passwords and don't be like those assholes. Was it Bitcoin that they had and they like couldn't find their passwords and they had like millions of dollars? Like I have in my passport right now, my passport, my vaccination card, and my crypto passwords, just in case.
Imagine explaining that to you in 1990.
Yeah, and it's like
2000 or 2005,
or even like I don't know, like 2010. Like I'd be like, what are you talking about? But FTX right now,
you know what? Never mind. 2019.
Fine. Yes. I mean, here we are. Crypto. I mean, that's where we're dumb because like the people have been on this much longer. We're just now getting to it. But FTX right now, they're investing for the crypto generation. It's super easy to do, and it's just on your phone, so you can track it all. You can visit the App Store right now and download FTX for free today. Again, that's FTX, formerly Blockfolio, for free today.
All right. Before I get into hot takes, I have to give a personal shout out because I've always said I need one of the Roughneck girls on my side. They're all Paige Browning, Allie Gleason. They're all on Kayce and Katie's side, whatever. So I've been testing the show, right? By the way, the number is 646-291-2437 in case we test some more this week, which we will. I've been testing the show, and I've asked for Roughnecks to call, and Roughnecks have called. And the very best caller we've had is a girl named Aubrey. Aubrey, the Alabama fan. And I'm not going to say her last name. I don't want to like put her on blast or anything. I'm sure she probably wouldn't mind, but I just don't want to dox her just in case. Aubrey, the Alabama fan, called into this show. I asked for hate, and this motherfucker, she hated Auburn. She hated Tennessee. She hated everybody in the world. And it was funny. Shout out, Aubrey. You're going to be one of my best callers. Thank you very much.
Shout out, Aubrey.
Anybody here ever interacted with Aubrey?
I don't know.
No.
Maybe.
Huh. Yeah, she came out of nowhere, but she's fantastic. All right, here we go.
Shout out, Aubrey.
Shout out, Aubrey. We love a girl that loves college football and has hate in her heart.
We said Roughnecks. We may have just seen a handful of games yesterday, but that doesn't mean we don't want your hottest take after week 0. We'll read the best responses. And just a very good picture used on this tweet, by the way, because the big thermometer they like to break out when it's hot.
Yep.
Yeah.
What do y'all use sideline reporters? Do y'all just get issued those?
I never had one. I was just Like I actually wanted one at one point because I just wanted to know how hot it was down. As I was actually in Starkville. Like I don't remember like what game it was, but it was early in the season, and I think I was actually physically melting. But they never gave me one. Sad.
When's the last year you did ESPN sideline reporting?
2015.
Okay, so I was going to say the hottest one I ever saw was 2016, South Alabama at Mississippi State, but you wouldn't have been there. All right, so here's your hot takes. And I just love week 0. We only had a certain amount of teams, so you know who's going to get hot takes here. You know Nebraska's about to get hot take to death.
Yeah.
Benny the Jet says UCLA is going to win the Pac-12. Hawaii is Hawaii, but Chip unlocked something there with the changes in the run game. They're going to be the surprise team of the year. I don't know if that's true. If it is, I kind of did say it a couple weeks ago.
You did say that. Oh, no. Is it just running around your feet? No.
Sorry, go on mute.
I mean, what's happening in your apartment with the mouse is far more entertaining than anything I'm reading.
Katie's got her legs like all the way up on the table. Like if you're not watching on YouTube, like
okay, don't give the boys anything visual, please.
Sorry. You should be watching on YouTube because Katie's got her legs up on the table. Is it just running around your feet?
Like there's people talking. Like this is out loud. Like I don't know. It just ran like to the radiator. Like I sprayed Raid to shit earlier.
I don't think they care about Raid.
That's not gonna do anything.
No, I was in the middle of working, so I couldn't go out and buy traps. I'm buying glue traps or whatever traps in the morning.
All right.
Don't you have somebody in your building that can do that for you?
Yes, when I'm done working with this, maybe.
Okay. Austin Frazier says Nebraska doesn't win more than 3 games. That's certainly possible.
I have a question for you about that, Brandon.
Okay.
Where do you think? Well, okay, first of all, obviously, if they go undefeated, yes. But, like, where is the threshold line for Scott Frost, record-wise, to not get fired this year?
I think if he gets to a bowl, he'll be fine.
Because they haven't made it in a bowl since he's been there. But, like,
well, I don't know. It's not that. It's just, he's got 11 games left. If he wins 6 of them, if they put this behind him, if they beat anybody, like if they were to beat an Iowa or, a Michigan, who I believe they host, if they were to win any of those games, yeah, I think he's able to save it, but I don't think that'll happen.
6-6 is the line?
Huh?
So 6-6?
All right, 6-6. Yeah. I think it's 6-6. He's in danger, but I think he might be able to. He needs one of those wins to be a good team, though. He needs to be a good win. Skip says, Skip Wheeler, as an unbiased observer, I think UCLA might be the best team in the country and is for sure winning the national championship. Okay. Daniel in Fresno says UCLA will beat LSU next week and then get beat by Fresno September 18th. All right, that's a homer-ass pick. He Hate Me says Illinois is going to be a powerhouse in 2 to 3 years. That's just going to be a no from me, dog.
That's a hot take, though. Like,
yeah.
Hey, we asked for hot takes.
We asked for that. I like that.
Again, like I don't agree with a powerhouse in 2 or 3 years. But, I mean, Bret Bielema, like everybody goes and looks at what happened with him in the SEC. But, I mean, he was able to win at Wisconsin.
Cottonwood Joey says, outside of Kansas, there's not a team from the old Big 12 that will beat Nebraska this year, that wouldn't beat Nebraska this year. I mean, Texas Tech's probably going to be pretty bad, too.
Speaking of Texas Tech, I got Texas Tech merch in the mail sent to the office.
Did you?
Yeah. I went to the office today to get
some. Are there any 2X in there?
It was just one shirt. Like it was an A&M shirt. And then like underneath it, I figured it was another A&M shirt, and it's not. It's a Texas Tech shirt. I don't know where it came from.
By the way, on this new show, and I hate to mention it again, I'm sorry. On this new show, we're doing a thing where the shelf behind me, the background, will be all fan stuff. So if you send me like a bobblehead that you like, we'll put it on the shelf, and it can be interactive like that. Katie's handling that. So if you want to DM Katie on Twitter, if you want to send her something she can put on the shelf behind me, we're going to rotate it.
Can I defend you on something with that? I saw a bunch of people being like, oh, why don't you just buy it yourself? Like Dan Patrick does that. It's not,
I'm not trying to get great stuff. I'm not trying to buy stuff. I'm trying to interact with fans and let them build the set.
Right. Like, I mean, Dan Patrick did it because like my guy friends that worked for the athletic department when we were in college sent him an A&M helmet, and he had it on there, and like they knew it was from them, and they loved that. Like these people that are like, oh, like you broke bitch. Like, no, that's not like,
yeah.
We're Barstool. We're not broke.
It's about the interactivity. That's what it is. But I let Katie tweet it out from my account. She didn't tweet it very well. You know how she is. I can say anything about Katie right now because What?
I got it approved. I gave you the copy, and you said I asked you, "Is this good?" And you
relax,
said,
relax, relax. I know.
Oh my God.
Yeah, jeez. I love that I can say anything about Katie right now because the mouse is just first and foremost in her mind.
I mean, I'm telling you right now that if I was in Katie's spot, like I'd be crying. So like at least she's handling herself.
Paige Browning says college kickers are the backbone of college football. They are something, aren't they? They are something.
And they never cease to amaze.
Ben Zweifelhofer. It's good to see all the names back, isn't it?
Yes. Love it.
Illinois will win the Big Ten West with Wisconsin probably overrated and Iowa, Minnesota floundering. Jeez. Yancey Claflin says Nebraska has no options, and whichever direction they choose to go has a massive downside. Fire everybody and try to find a good coach willing to fill a role that seems impossible to succeed at or stick with the current roster staff and lose every game in extraordinary fashion. Here's the thing. They're still delusional at Nebraska. They're like, all right, who do we get? And then they're saying like Luke Fickell or Matt Campbell.
Matt Campbell's been thrown around a lot.
Like he's got a better situation. He's built a better program than you are. Why would he leave a better program to come to you?
And Matt Campbell has a better chance of winning his conference by far right now.
And then like Luke Fickell's going to name his job. I mean, he's probably just waiting for Ohio State or Clemson or Bama or Oklahoma or something. He's going to slide in there.
I guess Luke Fickell is a lot more realistic than Matt Campbell.
I would agree with that.
Just because he is a Midwest guy, he is a Big Ten guy. And you could see how he's looking at, I mean, obviously his dream job is Ohio State.
Right.
But he's probably looking at that and saying, hey, that may not be there for a long, long time. So, and he may, but, he could also kind of go the route where like, hey, I'll just stay at Cincinnati until I really get the correct job. But that's a risky proposition.
But let me ask you this. Let's truly rank this. As far as there's 14 jobs in the Big Ten, right?
Right.
Is Nebraska in the top half of desirable jobs in the Big Ten? Because
Ohio State, Michigan,
Penn State, Wisconsin, 4, Iowa,
like now we get into the Iowa, Michigan State.
Yeah.
So Northwestern's definitely below it. Purdue's below it. Illinois is below it.
Indiana's below it.
Illinois, Purdue, Indiana.
It's probably 5, 6, or 7.
Indiana's below it.
The top half.
Maryland.
Minnesota, I wouldn't put above it.
Maryland's below it.
Yeah, I would put them in the top half for sure. I mean, but the gap between Ohio State, Michigan, Penn State, it starts getting.
If I'm a Nebraska fan, why I'm really disappointed is there was a real shot for if the Scott Frost hire was really the correct hire, they could have jumped Michigan in that kind of, not in terms of program overall, but like they could be right there with them because Michigan's really taken a step back and but instead of that, I mean, we look at Nebraska now, it's not even like, how bad would Jim Harbaugh in Michigan have to be this year to even be close to Scott Frost? I mean, probably around that 3-9.
By the way, did y'all see me interact with that idiot from Oklahoma State? Don't say his name.
Yeah.
Oh, I jumped in on that too.
That guy's I don't know that I've seen an idiot, a bigger idiot than that. Don't say his name.
No, I'm not going to say no. I mean, I asked you if I was allowed to jump in too, and I did. It's just, I mean, this is.
What a fucking idiot that guy.
It was honestly astoundingly stupid.
Let's see. Papa Zeeb says Scott Frost will not make the entire season. Hot take: Illinois makes a bowl game. I don't think Illinois does.
You don't?
I think Illinois might lose to UTSA.
I know, I guess that, we know we didn't do the normal, so what does this say? Is Nebraska really bad or is Illinois really good? And I know the game was much closer at the end, but maybe it's just because I want Bret Bielema to be in a bowl game. And I just seeing all the Burt tweets and everything. It was fun to watch again, but I just their starting quarterback went out and they were still able to win.
Yeah. But Kayce, here's the thing. They get the spoils because they won the game, and we get to treat like Nebraska's terrible and Illinois is pretty good. That game was hot ass garbage. That game was pathetic. That game had mistake after mistake. It was poorly officiated, poorly announced, poorly coached, poorly played. Illinois was just the smaller turd in that bowl. That's all it was.
Say turd.
I'm sorry, they were. That's the best way to describe it.
I mean, no, listen. I mean, I said it. Like it being 2-0 at the end of the first quarter was so perfect. Like kicking off the college football season with a Big Ten 2-0 game, and I think Dan tweeted it too. Like, please let this stand. Like, let a safety be the only thing that happens in this game. It was garbage, but it's also like Bret Bielema's fun for the sport.
So most of these Scott Frost should be fired today. Scott Frost doesn't make it week 3. Scott Frost. Nebraska is worse than I ever thought possible after 3 years of Frost. I can't believe I had to subject myself to 11 more games, says Skurs by 9,000. University of Illinois is going to run the table in the Big Ten, says Justin Zeeb. Saturday game day, UCLA will take down LSU next week and officially place Coach O in the hot seat. I agree with that wholeheartedly.
How hot of a seat, though?
Warm. They ain't gonna take losing to UCLA on the road. They're not gonna take that well if it happens.
Oh no, but I mean, it's not gonna be like all of a sudden he's like up there with like Fuente and Scott.
He won't be Frost, but it'll put the pot on the stove, and that thing might go hotter and hotter this year. But it'll put the pot on the stove.
So the gas has been lit, or they'll
light the pilot light. Yes.
Yeah, whatever kind of stove you have, it's on.
The Pac-12 will be the best conference this year, says Ivan Thomas.
Well,
that's incredibly hot.
Yeah, that's just a terrible take. But
the best conference, just getting 14 people to come watch your games. Illinois actually got 2 coaches fired yesterday, says Elijah Teague. There's no way Michigan sticks with Harbaugh and risks missing out on Matt Campbell, especially with him going to a conference rival. There's a take.
That is a take.
They're going to race to the Matt Campbell line. That would.
I bet Iowa State fans right now are like, "What the fuck, guys? Like, why are we already shipping our coach out? We haven't even played yet."
Christian Gordon, Chip Kelly, and UCLA will go 11-1 and win the Pac-12, sneak into the playoff. Jay Bellamy, Clemson will lose 3 games or more this year.
Which one?
Hot. Very hot.
Miami, North Carolina, and Georgia.
Well, they'd have to play North Carolina to lose to them.
Well, I mean, that's true.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, so
true.
That's my problem. You want to say they're going to lose 3 games? You got to show them to me because that schedule ain't tough. What else?
I mean, Georgia.
Huh?
Georgia is the only one that you could really point at, I guess.
Yeah. Come in.
Brandon. Why?
Why's that guy keep knocking on the door if he's not?
Why? Can I tell you something though? I'm glad that you choose to do this when we're on Zoom and not in the studio.
That's the reason I do it, yeah. Alec Gleason says, if you ask UCLA students to name 3 players on their football team, they couldn't do it. Correct.
Probably correct, yeah.
Tyler S. says, when Visor Chip Kelly shows up to the game against LSU, Ed and LSU better run for the hills. We didn't mention that Chip Kelly just broke out the visor for the first time.
Yeah.
Yeah, he didn't wear – I think it's the first time he's worn a visor at UCLA.
The visor, man. You can't – it's like we asked about this with Gus Malzahn. Like, is he going to go with the vests in Florida?
Almost has to, right?
I don't know. I mean, it's like Chip Kelly. It's like, why weren't you wearing a visor all this time?
Who are the number 1 visor guys in college football right now? Is there somebody?
Kirby.
Kirby?
Kirby, for sure.
Mullen's a visor guy now, isn't he?
Mullen's a visor guy.
Isn't Lincoln?
I think Lincoln is too, yeah. Yeah. Ryan Day is a no-hat guy, right?
That's
Oh no, he wears like a classic one.
Okay, yeah.
That's baffling. If they don't wear hats, it's baffling.
I think Elijah
Drinkwitz.
he wears one, I'm pretty sure.
Okay, so here's what we're going to need to do. I don't know who's going to study this. We need to put guys in 3 buckets. We need to know all the hat guys, all the visor guys, all the no hat guys.
The no hat guys, that freaks me out.
That's Saban, right? Saban's a no hat guy.
Yeah.
Saban.
Orgeron?
Hawaii's coach yesterday. Todd Graham was a no hat guy.
Yeah.
Orgeron.
He probably can't find one that fits his head.
Matt Campbell wears a very bent hat. Like he really bends that visor on it.
If you're coaching at night, that makes sense. But like during the day, if you're not wearing a hat, I just.
Harbaugh's a hat guy, right?
Yep, he wears that M hat, which makes sense because he coached, but it's that classic old school looking M hat.
All right, we got it. This is we got. I just have to know.
What does Dabo wear?
Dabo's a hat guy.
Dabo's a hat guy.
Yeah.
Because I thought about the same thing too, but he's a full hat guy.
Dabo's a hat guy.
Manny Diaz, his hair is like so.
He's too good looking for a hat. You can't.
Too good looking for a hat.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Let's see. Everything's Illinois, Nebraska. I'm going to try to let's see. Blake LeClaire says Rico will leave Pick'em and join Unnecessary Roughness to bring some Mountain West takes. Thank you. No. We've got all the estrogen we can take on this show.
That was unnecessary.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
I'm
a writer. I would like it on the record. I am a writer.
I'm not. It's the dumbest thing we do in this company. Everybody saying I'm a writer. It's the dumbest fucking thing we do.
I've actually never said. I like Rico. Rico is very nice to me.
Guy comes to the office and menstruates 3 times a week, and we're going to say I'm a writer. No, I'm not.
The Dew could be on Pick'ems next week.
What?
The Dew might be on Pick'ems next week.
Oh boy.
Well, it's a fair question. Is Rico?
Good thing we're not a Pick'em podcast. Let's focus on the things at hand.
Why are you hollering at us?
Because he doesn't want us to promote another podcast, which does make sense.
By the way, we got to do Jack. We got to do Stacking Cash this week. Don't forget.
Yeah, I'm pumped up.
I might have told.
Yeah, I know. I heard. We'll talk about that. No, we'll talk about it.
I just feel bad for. I told Mincy could do it.
Yeah. No. What? Yeah.
He's so excited. He's so excited.
He actually brought that up to me. He was like, I wonder if I'm going to be doing it. So.
Yeah, he brought it up to me too. Here's a funny story, just a little in between. ESPN today aired a high school football game between IMG Academy and apparently a fraudulent school. Sycamore School from Ohio is just not a real high school. So shout out to ESPN.
What do you mean it's not a real high school?
It's just it's unclear, but Sycamore High School is a school made for football players and there's no school. They don't go to school.
Oh, so Ole Miss.
Yeah.
I did not pass up the UNC joke.
I know. I actually thought that's where he was going. But speaking of Jack throwing shade, Jack threw some UNC shade today off the social.
No, that was just a funny Instagram.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Adam Cross says Brandon could not have been more right about UCLA. Think you Chip Kelly avoids Ricks and Stingley? And
I think I was the first one who brought up UCLA. Not
100%. No.
All right. Okay.
I've been saying UCLA to beat LSU since like June.
Okay. No. Yeah. I'll go back.
No, you can't. No.
Jack's gonna pull the tape.
He will not pull the tape. I own this one. This one's mine. This is my
tape. That he has the tape. He's gonna pull the tape. I don't know. I honestly don't know.
Whatever he wants. He'll have to doctor it.
Oh, also, by the way, all these people that were like, oh, like Brandon was right about the blind side. Brandon was right. We got no time codes, folks.
Yeah, everyone was sending us the same old rant that never said, I've never seen it.
I've never seen it.
I have, and we'll never see it, okay?
That's fine. But like all these people that were like, oh, you guys just aren't paying attention. It's like, no, we've been paying attention. We know how much he hates it. Send me a time code where he said he hadn't seen it on the show.
That limp dick kid tweeting us. All right. Scott Frost, Adrian Martinez. Bill O'Brien will be hired as the next Nebraska coach, says Thomas.
That's a hot take.
I realized yesterday who the best coach for the Nebraska job is. Oh. And we can end on this hot take.
Okay.
Out of all the coaches in the country, who can actually turn them into what they want to be, what they maybe used to be? It's the guy that
I know.
It's the guy that beat him yesterday.
Oh.
Bielema?
Bret Bielema at Nebraska is like a hand in glove fit. Tell me something more beautiful than Bret Bielema with that big ass N on him, and he's just a fat, and he's got the corn husker. He's got some big offensive linemen, big running back. Well, what would be better than Bret Bielema in Nebraska?
Twitter, bad boys. Oh, Bret Bielema would be beautiful there.
Twitter was so mean yesterday. When you know how you get the suggested searches when you go into the search bar up top. I went in to find just a photo of Bret Bielema, and if you just typed in BRET, the first suggested thing in the suggested searches was Bret Bielema fat. Like, what are we doing here? Brandon, I thought you were going to say Jeff Monken, bring back the triple option and go crazy.
Yeah, I just don't. I don't know. Like, I understand that take. I understand that, but Tom Osborne was just. I don't think you just plug in a triple option.
No. Yeah, yeah, true.
I don't know that we're going to see a major program go triple option again.
I wish we would.
Yeah.
It's so fun to watch. I don't want my team to do it, but it's fun to watch.
Every summer when I break out the NCAA 14 for the year. By the way, I broke it out this morning through 5 picks against Duke and slammed my controller down. Every summer I break it out, I always say, I'm going to do one for a couple of weeks with Georgia Tech, and I start running the triple option. And by the end of the second quarter, I'm tired of it. I just can't take this. I have to throw the ball.
Yeah, no, you definitely don't want to be a fan of a team that runs a triple option. But for college football, like if Nebraska started running a triple option again, that would be incredibly entertaining.
All right, I think that's all I got. We'll be back on Wednesday or Thursday, and we'll get ready for week 1. We'll get into all of it, and that's anything to add.
I just feel bad for Katie right now.
I need to go get some mousetraps real quick.
She seems fine.
She does not seem fine.
I'm panicking internally. I'm counting down the seconds to go talk to my super.
All right, Katie, you could have gone when it happened. It's okay.
I know. I was waiting until we paused the podcast, and I was like, do you mind if I skip out on ads to go get traps?
All right. That's them. That's me. That's unnecessary roughness.
I will see you guys tomorrow. I am going to go talk to my elevator man and go cry.